everybody, it's me, Carmine DiStefano, the Bookman. And welcome to 2 weeks of Halloween! In celebration of probably the best holiday of all of them, the next 2 weeks I'm going to be reviewing 2 works about monsters. Okay, enough already. In 1991, White Wolf Game Studios, that's what it was called back then, had created a video game about a secret vampiric society that was trying to remain hidden from human beings. That game was called Vampire the Masquerade. And that moved on to a card game, a role-playing card game called Vampire the Eternal Struggle. And then another PC game in 2000 called Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. But in 2004 they had perfected their vision when they created Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And there's a lot to this game that I have to review, so let's get right into it, shall we? That's the last one, I promise. Now there are 7 clans you can choose from, both male and female. The Brujah, the Brawling Rebels, the Gangrel, the Animalistic Lone Warriors, the Malkavians, the Psychotic Psychics, the Nosferatu, the freaky-looking Scouts, the Toreadors, the Pretty Artistes, the Tremors, the Blood Mages, and the Ventru, the Royalty. Each clan has their own strengths, weaknesses, advantages, disadvantages, and disciplines.
You lack discipline.
Also Humanity, which measures how far you are from a mindless beast, and Masquerade, which measures how secretive you are. So be nice and stay hidden. Throughout the game you'll accomplish tasks, and when you do you'll hear this little chime and gain experience points. And when you do, you can use them to build up your stats. Imagine if real life was like that. I say, good man, I seem to have misplaced my wallet. Oh, I seem to have found it. Thank you, sir. Don't mention it. Mainly the game takes place in 4 parts of Los Angeles. Santa Monica, including the beach, Doontown, Hollywood, and Chinatown. You travel throughout these areas via taxi or via Nosferatu in the sewers. Now in all these areas the clans are well represented. You have Prince LaCroix, the Ventru, Beckett, the Gangrel, Bertram Tongue, the Nosferatu, Isaac Abrams, the Toreador, Maximilian Strauss, the Tremere, Nines Rodriguez, the Brujah, Jeanette and Therese Vorman, the Malkavian twins. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! They're the same person. There's also Velvet Velour, the Toreador, and the answer is... Why can't you both be real? There's also Jack the Brujah, one of the greatest characters in video game history.
Oh man, we're popping a cherry here!
He's voiced by John DiMaggio, who you might know better as Bender from Futurama. Now you have enemies like the Kuei Jin, led by Ming Zhao, and the Sabat, who are... well, I'll let Jack describe them for you.
Sabat are worthless, man. Face tits on a zombie worthless. What a watch, though, like the 3 Stooges with chainsaws.
Now the Sabat are led by Andre, the Thanks, Gary. That's Gary, the Nosferatu Primogen, who is another one of the greatest characters in video game history.
It's a piss-poor copy of a real place. Looks like it'd be more at home in a theme park.
And then there's Ash, who... I really don't know what Ash does. Now there are human slaves called ghouls, like Mercurio,
Those cocksuckers.
Nox,
Hell yeah! Oh man!
Patty,
You are totally awesome.
and Romero.
Just hurts like a bitch.
Now if you want, you can have your own ghoul, Heather, who, if you treat her well enough, she ends up giving you the body armor, which is supposed to be the best armor in the game. You'll also encounter zombies, gargoyles, and of course, werewolves. Big ones. Now, since you're a vampire, you need to drink blood in order to survive. So here's the part of the game that really sucks. You feed in order to keep your health and blood meter up. This way you can live and use your disciplines. Now you can also feed on rats, but where's the fun in that? That's right, bite him, suck him, I suck you, I suck... I have issues.
Whenever you're done, sweet cheeks, we can move this show along.
Sorry, Jack. Story goes, after a night of some freaky-deaky loving, you wake up to find that your partner has turned you into a vampire. Unauthorized embracing is a no-no in the Camarilla, the vampiric ruling body. You're brought to an auditorium in front of other vampires where your sire is executed, And the prince spares you when he's called out by Nines Rodriguez, and he sends you on a mission. Now after this mission you find out that the real focus of the game is...
Uncorin sarcophagus.
Even when you're sent to the Malkavian Primogen's mansion, it's still all about...
Uncorin sarcophagus.
Even in the sewers when you fight these ugly fuckers, you're still talking about...
The sarcophagus.
Even when you go to Chinatown and fight the Tong gang, you're still thinking about...
The Uncorin sarcophagus.
No matter where you go or who you kill, it's still in the name of the Assyrian tomb that holds possibly an elder vampire that might bring about the end of the vampiric world. Now there are a lot of side quests like trading relics to Pisha, the tattooed man-eater, or tracking down the serial killer in Santa Monica, or helping this old guy in a store in Chinatown. Everywhere you go, there's always somebody there to give you something to do. So do it. It builds up your stats. Despite all your efforts, Prince LaCroix ends up sending vampires to hunt you down and kill you. You get through that and you'll meet with this taxi driver set up by Jack himself. And as he's driving you, you have to make a decision. How are you going to finish this thing? If you side with LaCroix, then you'll be sent back to him where you make amends. You go to Chinatown, you kill Ming Zhao, you bring the key back to LaCroix, and with him open the tomb to find explosives. Go on your own, you go to Chinatown, fight Ming Zhao, then go back to Prince LaCroix's building where you fight him, he's actually pretty weak, and his sheriff in 2 forms, muck him up pretty bad, open the sarcophagus, and find the explosives yourself. If you go by the way of the rebels, you fight Ming Zhao, you fight LaCroix and his sheriff in both forms, give him the key and let him open it and find the explosives. Whichever way you go, the building explodes, and Jack's watching it with the mummy and the taxi driver that most people say is actually Kane, the first ever vampire. Now how's the game? Extraordinary. You can obsess over it for months and it still holds its replay value. Now, it is kind of old, so it does have its share of glitches and typos. Despite all that, it's fantastic. Now there are a couple of other endings I could have shown you, but with time constraints, I really didn't get the opportunity to get into those. However, I think I've shown you enough. What, 3? That's it? Thank you all for watching. I'll have more for you soon to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day. What am I going to do with 3? I want to build up my lockpicking skill. How can I do that?